Hi guys, it's Mark from Mind Frontiers. I've got my little keep calm jumper on for the Doctor Who, just because I can be a bit of a geek. Yesterday I started talking about energy follows the mind and how we have to put ourselves first. Now, energies are all around us. They're in what we do, they're on atoms, they're on a molecular level. Everything from the stones to what we put in our mouths has energy. Some energies are not so good. Some energies are quite positive. So, we've got to look at what we're putting into our body, but it's more than that. There's a massive piece of research that's been undertaken at this minute in time. And the world is in a crisis. As most people know, it's not just a pandemic, and it's not just the environmental crisis that we've got. There is something deeper, more underlying than that. Now, this is called the Schumann resonance field. This is the vibrational frequency of the Earth. So when we have emotions like anger and stress tend to vibrate about here at a low level, but love and happiness and peace and joy tends to vibrate around here. Now, the Earth has been stable since they've started recording it in the 1950s, and it's been Russian scientists that have actually been recording this. And it's been stable at about 7 kilohertz for decades. But in December last year, it was 158 kilohertz. Now, I'm pretty good at maths, but that's quite a large percentage increase. So what does it mean? It means that the world is changing, and it's changing rapidly, but we have to change with it. We have to awaken ourselves emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, so that we can move on the plane and be ready to accept these changes when they come. This is vital. It's part of the reason why the world is in chaos. Because people who are not ready for the change, for the vibrational frequency, are often experiencing stress, anxiety, random outbursts of emotion. Because our energies are changing, and we have to adapt to change with it. So let's work together, guys. Spread love, peace and happiness. But let's do more than that. Let's work on ourselves so that we know emotionally, physically, mentally and spiritually what we want, what we don't want, and how we can achieve it. So that we can deal with those negative emotions, so we're no longer operating on this lower level vibration. We're operating up here, which means that we're ready to access the change. Now, if we can get the whole world, in an ideal world, to adapt to this change, just think of what the greater good will be with the humanity and the environment and the planet itself. This whole world is in crisis, and we need to act now by working on ourselves and working what we can do with others. So spreading love, joy and happiness to others, because we share what we are, as I said yesterday, so that we can bring everybody together, bring humanity together, and that way we've got a chance of dealing with this crisis, dealing with this massive change that's occurring, so that we can be ready for it. Most people aren't ready for it. Heck, even I have emotional outbursts, and I'm a trained therapist. But I work on myself. I catch myself and go, hang on, let's just work on that. And I've got the skills and the strategies that I can use to help others. One of the big things is learning how to meditate. Now, if you can learn how to meditate, guys, you're going to start raising that vibration right up here. Because you're going to be able to become the observer of the emotion, observer of the thoughts, rather than actually being the emotion and being stuck in it. These are simple processes. A lot of people put up barriers and go, I can't do that, or I'm unwilling to do that. I'm not ready for change. Now, everybody's going to be ready for change in their own journey, because we're all on a journey, and we're all going to end up somewhere. But is it where you want to be? And it's not about the journey or the destination where you get into the end. It's about enjoying the moment on the journey and learning through the experiences that you're having, whether they are good or bad. If you can start learning those sort of things and becoming self-aware and self-reflection, which is quite simple to teach. What it takes is practice. And it's not practice that makes perfect, it's practice that makes permanent. We have to create new habits, new lifestyle changes, so that we are okay with us and we can say, I love myself. Because if we're alright with ourselves, we're alright with other people. And that's what we're sending out. And that's what this world needs with this Schumann resonance field. We need to adapt and change to these massive things that the planet's going, hang on a minute, this isn't right, I need to sort this out. And that's what we need to address. And we can only do that when we start working on ourselves. When we work on ourselves, we can share that with others. They can work on ourselves, and then it's a cycle of change. And it's a cycle of new behaviour, new positive behaviour. It's not easy, and it can be challenging. But the actual techniques themselves are quite simple to teach. What is more difficult is catching it and being aware, which is where reflection comes in. The Schumann resonance field, again, is the vibrations of the planet. And it's changing, and we need to change with it. Otherwise, more chaos is going to be around in this world. The only way we can deal with the chaos is by working on the chaos that we've got inside. So, any questions that you want to talk about, you can drop me a comment if I can get the comments working on YouTube. And if not, you can privately message me. And we can explore this more. This is a massive, massive problem that we've got in our society. We are programmed by the media, by whatever, to think negatively, to always see the bad side in things. Well, I'm challenging you guys to start looking at the positive things, all the good things that are in this world, and all the things that we can do, that we can control, such as working on ourselves. Might not always be possible at times, but when we catch it, we can reflect back and go, actually, that wasn't really very good. And in the next session, we'll talk a bit more about how to do some reflection. How to do it in a different way, maybe. Maybe you've not done that before. When we can start learning how to take accountability and responsibility for what we do and work on ourselves, whether it work on positive ones to make positive emotions better and stronger and happier, or negative ones that we can actually remove. We need to adapt to the frequency changes that are happening on this planet and causing the whole world in chaos. Don't get me wrong, human beings are also a cause of this chaos. But a lot of people are reacting to situations rather than responding. And we need to address that so that we start to respond to different situations. And when we've begun to learn our lessons, and if we can get the whole of humanity to start learning their lessons as to what was good, what was not so good, what was effective, what was not effective, this is how we change as a society. And this is how we can make changes, not just with society but globally. Whether that be environmentally, physically, whatever it might be, we need to learn to start doing new things in different ways. Now, as I said, meditation is a very good exercise. And a lot of people put up going, I can't do meditation. But they don't know the process. Sometimes when I meditate, if I get it wrong, and I do because I'm a human being, I do it at the wrong times and I fall asleep. So you teach the processes and I go, hang on, that wasn't effective for me. Why did I do it when I was tired? Because I fell asleep. But it's a good way of learning to relax your mind if you wanted to go to sleep and not sleeping very well. And sleep is, as we know, is very, very important in looking at how we deal with things mentally and emotionally. So just some food for thought, guys. So I want you to all take care of yourselves, really, especially at this time of chaos and uncertainty. The more uncertainty that we have, the more chaos seems to presume. So take a step back and go, hang on, what is in my control? And then you might start to think about things differently. When I teach people with like autism and I'm doing emotional work with them, I try and get them to limit things like the news, because they're bombarded with negativity all the time. I try and get them to look at, if they want to look at the news, what sources are credited, so that they get the true facts, so that they can then make an important decision as to what they need to do. And this is what we all need to do, is look at what's going on, what is in our control, what are the facts, and if there's things that we can do, what are we going to do about it? So guys, just a very quick video on the Schumann resonance field. It is vitally important that we try and get this, because I know the word try sets us up to fail, but we need to look at this. We really do. This is vital. And you can Google it, the Schumann resonance field of the Earth. Have a look. Make up your own minds. Be informed. Because you can only be informed if you've got the information. And if you haven't got the information, you can only make a judgment based on what you know. And that can limit us to what is actually true and what's not true. And that goes the same with our emotions too. We need to focus on ourselves so that we can sort out what we're doing, what we know to be true, and what we know not to be true. A lot of information in here, guys. So in the next session we'll talk about reflection. This is going to go up on my Facebook page, Mind Frontiers. It will go up on my Twitter page, and it will also go on my YouTube. So please like and sub, and let's get this information of trying to help the world out. So don't forget to like and smile, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you very much, guys.